So, today I want to talk about Naruto chapter 65 till 90. Our group passed the second half of the Chunin exams and are now waiting with the other remaining candidates to be informed about the final fight. But instead they are told that too many passed the test and that they have to get rid of half of the candidates, so a fight tournament it is. And that's basically everything that happened during those chapters. 10 matches and a couple of scenes with our new bad guy playing around in the background. If I had to rank the fights, I would put Gaara vs Rock Lee at first place. After that, Neji vs Hinata. Then Shikamaru vs Tsuchi, Shino vs Abumi, Naruto vs Kiba, Kankuro vs Misumi, Sasuke vs Yoroi, Choji vs Dosu, Sakura vs Ino, and then at last Temari vs Tenten. Gaara vs Rock Lee is quite self-explaining why it's in the first place, because it's such a legendary fight and it made me fall in love so much more with Rock Lee's character. It's basically the fight between hard-earned skill and born talent, and seeing those two fight gives me goosebumps every time. I love the fight between Neji and Hinata, not just because of the fight itself, but because of the hate Neji felt towards Hinata, without us knowing why in the first place. Their fight just had that huge emotional weight to it. Neji was ready to kill Hinata and I loved the intensity all of that created. Shikamaru vs Tsuchi and Shino vs Abumi were entertaining fights. I really loved watching Shikamaru just outsmart his opponent. And Shino's fight was unexpectedly brutal because he indirectly caused Abumi's arms to explode. Shino really said, "Don't mess with a quiet kid." Naruto's fight against Kiba was alright, but I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't as epic as Rock Lee's fight. Kankuro vs Misumi was really cool. I just love that he uses that creepy puppet as his weapon. Sasuke's fight was alright, but unfortunately nothing too remarkable, because I was more invested in the whole curse mark thing that he had going on, rather than the actual fight that he had against that random guy. Choji vs Dosu was not that interesting, unfortunately, as it was also a quite short fight, and being the match right after Gaara vs Rock Lee also didn't help, like they had no chance to compete with that. Sakura vs Ino and Temari vs Tenten are both fights that I want to complain about. Sakura and Ino are so lucky that they had each other as opponents, because everyone else would have destroyed them without any effort. The big emotional flashback of their past, how they turned from friends to enemies, was just disappointing. They really chose to end the whole friendship just because they had a crush on the same boy. I can still tolerate it because they are quite young, but it's just pointless and exhausting drama. And the worst part is Sasuke does not even care for either one of them. But yeah, their fight and their flashback was way too long and way too dramatic for such a non-issue they had in the past. The reason why their fight is not at the last place of my ranking is because the fight between Temari and Tenten was non-existing in the first place. That was so disappointing because I was so excited to see those two fight, but nope. The match really started and the manga skipped the whole fight. I'm really starting to believe that Kishimoto has a personal vendetta against Tenten because she seems so interesting but she constantly gets treated like a filler character. Kishimoto should have given half of Sakura and Ino's match time to Tenten and Temari. Well, that's everything that I had to say and thanks for watching. Ciao.